Sanzimana Ellie, from forest outcast to global inspiration. From mockery to stardom. They called him names. They laughed at him. They said he was a monkey because he spent most of his life in the forest. But today, he's a global sensation. A young man whose story has captured hearts across continents. Once an outcast, now a rising star. His name? Sanzimana Ellie. His journey? Unbelievable. It all started when his story was first aired. From that moment, he became an internet sensation, a viral phenomenon, and an inspiration to millions. People couldn't believe what they were seeing. A boy who had been written off by society was now making headlines. Social media exploded. Everyone wanted to know more about him. But to truly understand Sanzimana Ellie, we need to go back to where it all began. A mother's plea for a miracle. The year was 1990. Ellie's mother had just gotten married, filled with dreams of raising a happy family. But tragedy struck. Each time she gave birth, her babies did not survive. Once, twice, 3 times. For times, her heart shattered more with every loss. Desperate, she fell to her knees and prayed, "God, just give me a child who will live. Even if he is disabled, I will still be grateful." And then, a miracle happened. Sanzimana Ellie was born. But Ellie was no ordinary child. He didn't walk, he ran. Doctors told his mother, "Prepare yourself. You have given birth to an athlete." She laughed. "An athlete? Surely you're joking." But as the years passed, she realized they were right. Ellie never stopped moving. He ran through the hills. He ran through the forest. He ran faster than anyone had ever seen. But his speed could not outrun the cruel words of society. A boy who never belonged. Ellie was different, and the world wasn't kind to different people. He never spoke like others. He never sat still. He didn't behave the way they expected. So they mocked him. "He's an animal. He belongs in the wild. He will never be normal." Even worse, he had no education, no future, and no way out. Until one fateful day, when his story reached media and everything changed. The day hope arrived. When people heard about Ellie's struggles, they had to act. A fund campaign was launched, and the response was overwhelming. People from all over the world donated. Ellie's family smiled. For the first time, they had a house full of basic necessities. Mattresses, furniture, even a cow to provide daily milk. Ellie tasted cake for the first time that day. The joy in his eyes? Unforgettable. But there was one problem left. Ellie still had no education. For years, Ellie had been ridiculed for never attending school. But when he visited a school for disabled children, everything changed. For the first time in his life, he wasn't an outsider. The other children understood him. They accepted him. But getting him into school was a financial challenge. His mother had no money for tuition, no means to pay for his daily needs. With the donations, a house was rented near the school so that Ellie could live with his cousin and attend classes just like any other child. Fame follows Ellie everywhere. As Ellie walked through the streets, something incredible happened. People recognized him. They cheered. They smiled. They took pictures. Everywhere he went, fans followed. Even when he stopped at a hotel before heading to school, people gathered. The next morning, Ellie dressed in a brand new suit. He had never worn one before. The moment he saw himself in the mirror, he gasped, "Is that really me?" For the first time, he saw himself as handsome. Then, he did something unexpected. He ran away. Not in fear, but in pure excitement. Ellie's first haircut. A moment to remember. The next stop, the barber shop. But Ellie had never had a proper haircut before. When the barber approached him with clippers, he panicked and refused. Outside, a massive crowd gathered, eager to take pictures. Ellie was no longer just a local story, he was a global star. His newfound fame was so overwhelming that we realized he might need a security guard to protect him from the massive attention he was receiving. The first day of school. After a long 3-hour journey, Ellie finally arrived at school. As he entered the classroom, he looked calm, confident, and ready. The school coordinator welcomed him warmly. "Here, we give a voice to the voiceless," he said. "We embrace children whom society has rejected and give them a future." It was the perfect place for Ellie. But there was one problem. The school wasn't a boarding school. Ellie couldn't stay there full-time. Luckily, some supporters had already arranged a permanent home for him nearby. Ellie's mother couldn't stop crying. "I never imagined this day would come," she said. For years, she had only one prayer: to see her son in school. Now it was happening. She expressed deep gratitude to everyone who had donated, supported, and believed in her son. "One day, my son will have skills. He will be respected in our community." For those who had mocked Ellie, this was a lesson. The boy they had laughed at, now in school. The boy they had bullied, now a star. The boy they had written off, now a symbol of hope. Experts once said Ellie would never understand education. But God had other plans. Today he's in school. Tomorrow he will be an inspiration to millions. Sanzimana Ellie's journey is far from over. But one thing is clear: his best days are just beginning. Sanzimana Ellie's transformation is proof that kindness changes lives. But his journey isn't over yet, and you can still be a part of it. Like this story to show your support. Share this story to inspire others. Subscribe to our channel to follow Ellie's journey and many more life-changing stories. Your support means everything. Together, we can continue making miracles happen. Let's make Ellie's story reach millions.